Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Napoleon Total back again with some Shogun 2. Scramble for the Far East, and we're back with our Qing. Yes, for those that are wondering, upload schedule has been shortened. The reason probably is because a lot of people voted on the Discord that they were gonna, let's just say, not do that many Scramble for the Far East and instead focus on this mod, which has its reasons. But that said, we are back with some Qing episode. And last episode we were preparing to siege Mikawa, and now this turn we're actually gonna assault Mikawa. And so yes, Mikawa's defense is not poor; it's actually pretty good. But the biggest answer for their defense is this massive line of mortars, artillery, and rockets. As you can see right here, my mortar teams are starting to prepare to load, and the second it fires, oh dear God, would you rather believe it's gonna unleash devastation. That said, this enemy fortress, the enemy fortress of Mikawa, or the castle of Okazaki, is actually pretty impressive. It is definitely one of my. It's actually when I saw it on the battle, it is actually becoming my favorite castle in Scramble for the Far East. And the reason is because not only is it highly defensible, but it is just straight outright pretty. And yeah, this is the view, and as you can already see, the amount of trees in just one sector and bridges and just like literally a floating castle on water is pretty impressive. Not to mention the fact that there are some places you straight outright can't attack, but other places literally you can attack, but it's just straight outright choke points. Not to mention the fact that the walls are extremely high just for the first tier, and defensive emplacements are pretty top notch. And if you really want to hold a parade or something, well, do I have luck for you? We have cherry trees. And when I mean cherry trees, I mean a lot of cherry trees. This has got to be my most favorite map as of right now. It is just so good looking. But however, all good looking maps doesn't mean that it's going to be good on the defense. Our rockets are just blowing away at the enemy. I have tuned down the graphics card just to make the rockets more stable, but as you can see by the screen, it's not that stable. For some reasons, the amount of rockets I have is already more than enough to dissuade essentially the enemy from blasting us. Well, actually no, it's essentially makes the game a little not so stable. As you can see right here. Rockets are being fired at the enemy, and it's going pretty well. Not gonna lie. We are setting fire to all the enemy walls, and when the walls reach 100% from fire damage, they're gonna explode. As a matter of fact, the entire battle was just me blowing away at the enemy, and so this battle was already pretty over before it even starts. We actually get a general, and so now we are actually back on the campaign screen. Looking at it, this army actually has a general, while other armies straight outright either don't or don't have a good general. This army, although it's pretty good, it needs vamping. We did take Mino in the last episode too, so that's great. And our faction leader Zhao is going to be coming here. Hito was also taken in the last episode, and yeah. Eventually, I'm gonna group one army full of mortars and artilleries, and it's just gonna be acting as the entire vanguard army. And so yes, that's that. My modern army right here is gonna be marching. It's gonna get trained by by my instructors. Elsewhere, there are some American holdouts left and right, but it's not massive. I'm actually gonna have my spies scout, and as you can see, we already have a lot of territory. The British still hold on to Yamashiro or Kyoto. That means I eventually do have to go to war with the British, but everything else is pretty good. The Prussians are, I think, already at war with the United States. I could be wrong. It's a long time since I got back. But from what I know, I asked the Prussians to declare war on the United States, and they did. The United States actually offers a peace treaty, and obviously off the bat. We're gonna reject them. All across the board, the Americans still have a lot of armies, although I have straight outright more armies in the field. What I mean by that is that I have more armies grouped together, while the Americans have a lot of armies, but just spread out. Which I don't blame them, because one, the Prussians are literally at war with them. The British are at war with them. They also need a massive fleet to cover their entire coastline. Which sadly, if I were the United States, I would just expand that fleet, because fleets are really useless. You're also at war with the Dutch, you're at war with the French, you're at war with probably the most powerful faction, which is me. And and so yeah, a lot of help is required for the United States. That said, we're just moving deeper into enemy territory. From this point on, you will see a lot of auto-resolve battles, and the reason why is because although the enemy literally has better quality units, I just have straight outright more units. Like almost every battle that you see me auto-resolve, it's either the enemy has terrible units, or I outnumber them by multiple times. As you can see right in that battle, although even though we had two armies facing them, they still had a problem. We still have a problem. My other army, which is on these massive ships, are going to be moving. This is actually a reinforcing army to Owari. So yeah, that's interesting. This fleet is actually a battle fleet, and it's sent to hunt down the American fleet. But also said this army, which was intending to invade Kawa from the west, from the east, my bad, is going to be moving on. It does have a massive army in the field. Actually, it has more than a massive army in the field. It has not only naval bombardment, but also all Western troops, except for 2 rockets. But then rockets are pretty Western too. It's funny how I say rockets are Western, but the Chinese were the first one to invent the rocket, so that's that. Our agent is going to be moving around to North Shinano. We're going to eventually storm into Kai, and after that, I'm actually going to bypass Izu and Shimoda, and we're just going straight for Mikawa. Well, sorry, not Mikawa. Sorry, it's Mikawa. But yeah, troops are just moving around, and yeah, that's that. The United Kingdom is going to be a help. Not by much, but at this point I'm pretty happy that they haven't helped, because most of the land I have taken. And we are at around 48 provinces. We need 60 to complete the game. The Americans have 11. So, actually no, we have 46, I believe. Well, actually no, I don't. I think it's 49. Actually no, 48. We have 48 provinces. The Americans have 11. They're going to take some more. Actually, no, we have 46. The Americans are going to take a few more provinces, I think. And after that, we're gonna take all the American provinces, and we're eventually going to go to war with the British. So yes, as you can see, a lot of public order issues just across the board. It's literally just having me cut in and cut out all the public order issues. But that said, we do have a massive army with a military advisor, so we're gonna be sieging North Shinano. We can actually take this with auto resolve, but I'm just actually gonna auto resolve, but not yet. These massive armies in the field are a problem, not for us obviously, but for the enemy. As we can see, we do still have these massive armies. We're just gonna be moving to Toyomi. And as a matter of fact, I'm having a pretty hard time grouping these armies together. The problem with large armies is that you have to be well coordinated with all your armies. We are actually getting reinforced, so our army is just gonna explode. I actually don't know the exact number of how many troops in this army, but from what I know, it's massive, completely massive. We're actually gonna be our army is so massive that I have so many artillery pieces that need to be deployed pre-battle, or in other words, I have to have artillery pieces beyond the attack. If I'm on the attack, I have to have my artillery pieces be the one to attack. That's because if I don't have that, what's going to happen is basically the artillery won't work. It won't be deployed on the battlefield, so that's going to be a big problem. That said, elsewhere, yeah, we are also having a time dealing with the United States. Trade route to the United States is still open. That means we can still technically trade with the United States, which I don't think is possible in this mod. I haven't tried though, so I don't know. But it's kind of interesting considering the fact that I'm at war with the United States, and technically I can still trade with them, so that's pretty interesting. Elsewhere, my other fleet, my better fleet essentially, is moving in. All my fleets are pretty much the exact same size, except for one is bigger, one is smaller, and stuff like that. This army, which is made up of the our ever victorious army guard units, are just going to be moving. And yes, the Americans look like they're in a bad position, and they are. The Russians are at war with them, the British are at war with them, the Dutch are at war with them, the French were at war with them from turn 1, so that's pretty interesting. And they're definitely at war with me, so their position is already terrible. And they're going to respond by asking me for peace, which obviously I'm going to reject off the bat, because the entire reasons why I'm going to war with you guys, the main reason, was originally to help the British, not have the Americans get too powerful. Now it's turning into, I want your land. That said, next turn is just a lot of stuff. The stuff is public order. And, yeah. Elsewhere, we are going to deal with a lot of public order issues across the board. I'm going to actually be moving armies into this province because public order is a problem. I don't really want to deal with rebellions every single day, every single turn in this province. But it's not a big problem because all the rebellions are essentially getting crushed. This fleet is also going to be moving to Prussia. We're going to land at the Prussians, but we're going to try to land first at some random province that the Americans own. And yes, we have a lot of artillery pieces. Like I said, I'm going to group them up in one massive army. This is the army that is going to be assaulting first. The other armies are going to be acting in support, giving them the manpower they should need. And yes, praying for the best, essentially. This army is also, which is also a veteran army, is going to be moving. It's actually going to be supported. We're actually going to be deploying a lot of guys into this army. That said, I'll have a lot of fresh units. And I have some green standard units because at this point I need a lot of men to feed my armies. Which at this point, although it looks massive, most of them are terrible. Well, actually, not for the white banner units. The artillery pieces are amazing. The ships, well, the infantry is good for melee, but the American army is getting more and more elite, and I'm gonna respond to that by literally getting more and more men on the battlefield. Not to mention the fact that we do have some elite units with the Ever Victorious Army. And for those who don't know what the Ever Victorious Army is, the Ever Victorious Army is basically the army that Qing used to crush the Taiping Rebellion. Obviously it's not the army that they used, but another rebellion, a revolt I have to put down. But it was the army that the French and British trained for the Qing after they got defeated in the Opium War, and it was used by the Qing to put down essentially the Taiping Rebellion, which was 3 million deaths. And I think I have, I don't think I have those numbers correct. It could be potentially more. But yes, it's a pretty bloody rebellion. And apparently, what happened was this guy decided to be essentially King of Heaven. Sorry. The Jesus Christ, and literally Jesus Christ, and he was the son of Jesus Christ apparently, and yeah, I'm not a religious person, me personally, but that's That's pretty interesting, I have to say. Proclaiming yourself the son of Jesus Christ, and staging a revolt that killed essentially millions. So yes, we're actually going to be fighting the American fleet. The American fleet is going to be running around left and right, and essentially they have disappeared, which means I do have to replenish this fleet. All the fleets need to be repaired because our army is, although not the best, is not the greatest. This fleet is actually going to go and hunt them down. The fleet is right there, and we're going to attack next turn. We're not in a rush to destroy the enemy fleet, of course, because, well, why should we be? The enemy fleet is not going to be repaired anytime soon. The enemy fleet is not going to be even prepared anytime soon. And as a matter of fact, the enemy fleet is so away that it's not going to get resupplied with new ships, so that's going to be very good for us. Our fleet is continuing to move across the coast. I am afraid of a massive American fleet, but from the looks of it, I'll try my best to deal with it. I'm not the for those who don't know, I'm not the best in naval battles. But I do use tactics from various battles, historical battles, of course, that usually work. One of them is the line of fire. Others include just good stuff. But our fleet is essentially going to be sorry, not our fleet. Our army is going to be attacking Shinano, and we're just going to prepare to attack Shinano. We're going to auto-resolve because it's so in our favor. And the results have turned in 625 loss. I could have done way better on a battlefield, but I just didn't want to do it. This army really shouldn't be getting any cavalry because it's a stand and fight army. The other army should be mostly cavalry. Right here, this massive army is going to be moving in. We're going to have a few units. We're going to have this army attack because it's the entire army of the artillery. This army is also going to be acting in support. This army is also be acting in support because the Americans have a lot of troops. Some of our artillery pieces are not going to be in the battlefield because we are not having them attack. That means the artillery pieces will not be deployed. The balance of power is definitely not in our favor. It's actually heavily against our favor, which is kind of weird. We have these massive artillery pieces, entire artillery army. We have 2 full stack armies, 1 half stack army, and actually no, 1 half stack army, 1 almost full stack army, and another army that's pretty dang beefed up. We're gonna continue the siege to see what the Americans do. If the Americans attack, I'll blast them away with my artillery. If the Americans hold their ground, they're gonna take siege attrition. But I am not interested in attacking the Americans, not especially with the British having an agent right next to them. But that said, our army is not that fresh. Looking at it the second time, their American army is pretty dang fresh, with a lot of artillery pieces and more cannons that can be called on. But I definitely have the military edge in terms of artillery pieces. I tried to do an attack with one of my armies with the usual siege trap, which is basically you have a guy over there and then stuff like that. You have one army attacking, you have the other army attacking army outside, and both armies will support. But it's not going to work because the enemy has a lot of armies in the field, so yeah, that's going to be a problem. Elsewhere, this army is pretty dang veteran up. Is eventually going to move. Yeah, the Prussians are our allies, so I'll respect them. I'm currently doing with the British, but however, the war of the British is inevitable, which is sad, because the British and I are pretty good allies, which is kind of historically inaccurate, because literally, the British were the ones to declare war on the Qing, one of the first people, because of the Opium War, and yeah, that's that. Nothing else really to cover except for ending the turn. I do have more troops going into Setsu, and after that we're just gonna put more and more troops in because of public order issues. The British have a lot of armies, The British agent is actually harassing the Americans. That is one of the reasons why I'm deciding not to attack. The American fleet is coming back, but it's not enough. In Omi province, the American geisha is trying to incite a revolt, and they're also trying to distract the garrison. Also, the Americans asked for peace. I'm gonna reject that. The Dutch are making some moves. And Ally declares war on Ally. The aggressor is Prussia, and I'm gonna essentially break the alliance. No matter what I do, it's gonna upset one person. I just don't want to be at war with the Prussians because we are so close. Garrison distracted. Alliance broken Prussia and Qing. That's not bad. Not bad at all. I just don't want the Prussians to be at war with us. And not to mention the fact that they are also at war with the United States, so relations should be pretty good. However, there is a big relation problem in the sense that I'm the most powerful power on Japan. And the problem with that is that being the most powerful dude, everyone's gonna hate you. Being the most powerful faction, everyone's gonna hate you. I'm currently at war with only one person, which is kind of interesting. But the Dutch is very friendly. The Prussians, who were very friendly a few seconds ago, are now very hostile. So, good stuff, eh? This army is sieging this army out. Those massive armies out. This guy needs to replenish train the troops in this army. And we're gonna march to North Shinano. And we're gonna be attacking North Shinano in the next turn. Yeah. There's nothing really much I can do at this point, except for watch. And do some moves, micromanagement, well, do some stuff left and right. I'm actually gonna surround this fleet. Or I can take this fleet out in one go, which I'm gonna do. That fleet is pretty much destroyed. I have only one ship in my fleet, and I'm gonna decide to have this massive fleet take out the American warship, the single American ship. I was hoping for a capture, but we don't. So that's unfortunate. The good thing about losing that many ships in one go is essentially the fact that I don't really have to pay the upkeep. Our son does get leveled up, and I'm just gonna give him +7 campaign movement range for all ships, which is really needed. This ship is gonna go into and repair. This fleet, my bad, is gonna move and be a supporting force for this fleet. And yes, that's that. This massive army right here needs to get moving. The Americans still have a lot of forces, as you can see in Shimoda. And so yes, that's that. And this agent is going to be scouting to see if the Americans have any more armies in the field. Which it doesn't appear to be. At least not in reinforcement range. So we're actually going to be attacking because I'm tired of waiting. And I apologize ahead of hand because this episode is going to be slightly over. I usually keep my episodes at 30 minutes. But I obviously realized that that's not really highly possible. So, yeah. Off the bat, we have a lot of artillery pieces. I'm not gonna lie. We have an entire army of artillery pieces like I've shown you. It is definitely gonna lag with some places here and there. And the reason why it's not lagging right now is literally because how do I say it? I haven't fired my rockets yet. The second I fire the rockets, is going to be destruction. That said, is also going to be destruction for my computer because of the lag. This cavalry force right here is getting blasted by my mortars, and obviously this is not my entire mortars. My entire mortar army is like 15 units, 14 mortar units. So that is what 14 times a 4, or 15 times a 4 is going to be 60. So 60, essentially half of those. 2 teams, about 9 mortar crews. So 36 mortars is firing on this position. Obviously not at the same time. They are going to reload. So yes, but this cavalry force of the reinforcing army is getting demolished. And as of this point, I am trying to destroy the reinforcing army, because why not? If I the second I destroy the reinforcement army, the army which is gonna be held is gonna be pretty much screwed. We do see a lot of casualties for the enemy horses, but yes, that's that. Back again, our cavalry actually charged into some American line infantry, and the reason why I did that was because it's going to be a screening action, not a screaming action, and it's going to set the tone. And what we're going to do is have this cavalry force charge. The Americans are going to charge straight back against our cavalry. That is not going to allow the Americans to open fire. They're massive volleys, and yeah, massive volleys are pretty good. I was recently given, well, the poll was out a few, probably long before, but what I was given was basically a poll that says what European factions have what, and on the poll it says that, one second, let me get the poll right up on my phone so I can read it to you guys. What guns do my troops use? By this is by Jeff. Who is the creator of Scramble for the one of the modders for Scramble for the Far East, and we have all these units. And basically, the first faction off the bat is France. All their units have rifled muskets, so their muskets are going to be very good muskets. The Netherlands are going to be having their entire army is going to be having smoothbore. So expect accuracy to drop. Thank you Discord, making me do Netherlands my next campaign choice. The Belgians are gonna have all rifle. So like the French, they're gonna have rifled muskets. My bad. The UK are gonna have all rifled guns. The Prussians, their elite infantry, and besides the Hessian guards, have breech-loading rifles. The Dries Needle rifle, and basically, that allows them to shoot very fast. That is why in my Prussian campaign, these guys were shooting as fast, like they were clock, 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 boom. That's how fast they literally went. Light infantry and line infantry are rifled, so not the entire Prussian army. The entire Prussian army, the elite troops, except for the Hessian guards, have breech-loading rifles, while the elite and line infantry, while the Hessian guards, light infantry and the line infantry have rifled muskets. The Bavaria, the grenadiers have breech-loading breech rifles. The light infantry and the line infantry have smooth bores, which is terrible. Saxony, their royal guard has breech loaders. Their light and line infantry has smooth bore muskets, so their light and line infantry are quite terrible. The Russians, their elite infantry have rifles. And their light and line infantry has smoothbore muskets. So, one of the big factions have smoothbore muskets. The United States, all their infantry have rifled muskets. Spain, their elite infantry has rifled muskets. Their line infantry has rifled muskets. Their my bad. Their elite infantry has rifled muskets. Their light infantry, my bad, has rifled muskets. Their line infantry has smoothbores. Mexico, all their entire army has smoothbores. Portugal, their elite infantry is rifled. Their light infantry is rifled. Their line infantry is smooth. Costa Rica, their line infantry smooth. Militia smooth. Guatemala, all their guns have smooth bores. The exact same can be said for Honduras, Nicaragua, El Salvador. All of them have smooth bores. The Satchel Lines, their line infantry, the Dutch Doctrine line infantry, has a smooth bore. All the rest have matchlocks. The Northern Lines, their line infantry, which is also Dutch Doctrine line infantry, have smooth bores. All the rest just straight outright have matchlocks. China, on the other hand, all their line infantry, except for the modern ones, have matchlocks. And now going on to Tier 2, which is only available currently, which is Beta 11. To Satchel Lines, Northern Lines, and China. Satchel Lines, their elite infantry has breech loaders. Thank you. I'm pretty sure an European power supplied them. Their line infantry has rifled, so That's great. The Northern Alliance, they have breech loaders. They're elite infantry at least. They're line infantry. They have rifles, and for China, straight outright, their ever victorious army is rifled. So as you can see right here, our guys are not terrible compared to the United States, except for the fact that all our guys are using rifled guns, while the United States, which is tier 1, we are tier 2 by the way, are using rifled guns. So yes, back to the battle. We are actually literally charging down the hill, and we're actually charging at some infantry. Our cavalry, which just came all the way around, has just straight outright charged down this massive hill, and we're essentially just storming into these guys. Yes, that's that. Fortunately for us, cavalry all throughout the time period, historically at least, cavalry, or as a viewer told me, it's pronounced cavalry. It's cavalry. What I mean by cavalry, I mean sword or melee cavalry, like a lancer, cuirassier, a hussar. These guys have not been outdated. The uniform may look outdated, but their swords and weapons are pretty much straight outright the same. And so yeah, that's that. Interesting. In this battle, the enemy is actually flooding out, and I didn't realize what they were doing at first. I realized it was just flooding out, and at this point I was just like, let them go. I don't really care. They've basically done what they were supposed to do. Some of my men are cutting them down, but I don't care about that. Until I realized that they might rout, they might come back from fighting. So eventually I'm starting to move units to intercept them, to cut out all the survivors. Reminds me of the time when Oda Nobunaga just set fire to Ishiyama Honganji and just killed everyone. By modern day standards, that would be considered a war crime, but what can we say about the Sengoku Jidai? Everything is so... It's definitely not bloody, guys. The Sengoku Jidai was definitely not bloody. Not at all. Quite peaceful indeed, guys. That said, our guys are just going to be killing these guys en masse now, because I don't want them to return from battle. And, just hope you guys who are seeing this are not going to think I'm a bloody, terrible person. But, that's that. Yeah. We actually, what we're doing here is we're actually firing, rockets at the enemy. And, that's why they're coming out, storming out, like, oh no, we don't want to fight anymore. Eventually, our guys are going to go through the second tier. And at this point, the enemies don't have a lot of defenses, so all we have to do is essentially come through here, capture the Tetsu, and that's it. So this battle is pretty much over. And so yes, so have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Now before you leave, I would like to thank you very much for watching this video. I will be honored if you could like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, more videos are coming out, so it is a good idea to click on that notification button. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.